Hey, what's going Hey, what's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. And my friends, we have an amazing guest this morning, a returning guest, a seven-time returning guest here on the show. She's going to tell you her story. She's going to tell you about her journey. She's going to tell you what's working for her now. And excuse me, we're going to get this frog out of my throat here and get this voice warmed up here this morning for you within the first 5 minutes, I promise. With that being said, please help me give her a warm, legendary marketer welcome in the comments to the one, to the only, Sarah Thompson. What's going on, Sarah?
What up, Dave?
Welcome back to the show. How are you, Jay, and the family doing?
All is well. All is well. Everybody's good. Happy
Good.
Monday around here.
Yes. So this is your seventh time on the show. Welcome back. It's been a journey. Remind us when you started on this whole in this whole journey.
You know what's crazy, Dave, is that 4 years ago and one day, I finally bought the 15-day Business Builder Challenge. 4 years ago. It was March 30th, 2021.
Wow.
And when I tell my story, because your story never gets old, by the way, guys, never quit telling your story. I remind people all the time, I had nothing. I had no idea what I was doing. I think so many people see people having success and think, oh, they had something I don't. And it's just not true. I just finally took a chance on a $7 training. And I did that because I went to Arby's and bought a sandwich that was $9. I don't even like Arby's, so don't come at me in the comments for that. And I thought to myself, why in the world will I spend $9 on a sandwich I don't even like, but I won't spend $7 on a training that could change my life? And that's when I decided to do it. And here I am.
Well, I was saying as I was muted out like an idiot over here, trying to talk, being muted as I always do. Where's the beef?
And Jay really loves Arby's. It's not my thing. I like the curly fries, but
Yeah, they are good. Well, wow, 4 years. I mean, talk to us a little bit about what the emotions and that first kind of 6 months was like for you. Did you have a lot of moments to where you felt like quitting? Can you take us back and kind of give us a fly on the walls perspective of what some of those days were like? Because we have so many people right now, as you've probably seen, who are, we're inviting right now to kind of create 100 pieces of content over the next 30 days and then do that straight for 100 days straight. We started last Monday. It's actually a week ago today. We started this Project 100X challenge. Now, I guess, again, we're doing it for our affiliates here inside of our affiliate program, but it's also a challenge to anybody who's creating content. And it's a roller coaster when you start really finally getting off the bleachers. Watching from the sidelines can be somewhat of a roller coaster if you're maybe a baseball parent. But if you're an internet marketer or you're trying to be a online business owner, sitting on the sidelines is relatively just safe and risk-free. It's like you're watching a Netflix series. You're watching everybody else. But when you get in the game and you start creating content, you start doing marketing, it's a roller coaster. And it feels like, at least for me, when I first got started, I was getting nowhere fast. What was it like for you if you could go back and try to remember some of those days?
Mm-hmm. Well, you asked if I ever felt like quitting, and I honestly never did. But I'm going to tell you why. And this is so important for all those people doing the 100-day challenge. I won't say it wrong. I've been talking to Kim about it, though. I've been so pumped for Kim, and I was really busy last week, but I'm going to be in there this week more. I never felt like quitting because I had blinders on for my first 3 months. I don't know if I just bought the blueprints at an amazing time, but like everything that I learned really stuck in my head. Like one of the things was like, be really good at finding answers to simple questions without waiting on somebody to give it to you. And the second thing was put blinders on. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. Don't look at anybody else's success. Do the work for at least 3 months. And that's what I did. And at the time it was TikTok. I was making 5 pieces of content a day. Okay. They weren't good. They weren't quality content because it was a different time. But these 3 pieces of content a day, first of all, it's totally doable. Okay. You just got to make yourself know that it's doable. And don't give yourself the option of not doing it. it is a must do situation, even if it's a quick 6 second. Hey, checking in. I'm Sarah. I'm doing affiliate marketing. Blah blah blah. Don't give up. Don't give yourself the option of giving up because quitting's not an option. And people ask me all the time, how did you have the success you've had? How did you have quick success? It's because I took a training and I did what I was taught and I put blinders on and I really didn't let anything stand in my way. I was going to make it work. And that's what it was. And so for everybody doing these 100 days, keep going. Even when you don't feel like it's working, it's working.
Yeah. And it's working on you. I want to talk a little bit about your marketing development and your kind of on camera development and your communication development. Talk to us a little bit about what are, especially with this rise of AI that's happening, we're leaning so heavy on that. And it's smart to do so because I look at AI as speeding up productivity, giving you superhuman levels of productivity. However, it's never really going to, unless you have, robots or avatars doing the talking for you, it's never going to do the talking for you. You're still going to have to communicate the message. And as the more that people only focus on writing, the more that those of us who are on camera are going to become more leaders in our niches. And so talk to us a little bit about what has your video and on camera development been like, if you could go back and sort of describe that, and how do you believe that that's impacted you to make the choice to get good at that?
Well, I mean, videos everywhere, first of all. So it's a non negotiable, in my opinion. Somebody the other day actually put they're just going to do Facebook posts. And I'm like, ooh, you're probably not going to have a lot of success really quickly. But, anyways, uh, so as far as AI goes, I have never used AI to script my video because it's probably because of like I wasn't born in the AI culture, right? I had to learn how to do it on my own. Now, I just think that the art of turning the camera on and starting to talk is a very, very powerful and strong. And I feel like I say this all the time when I'm on here, but one of the best things I ever did was get Snapchat and learn how to communicate with my husband and my friends through Snapchat because it helps you get used to holding the video in front of you. Which angle do I look the best from? Should I put it far away or up close? Just get used to it. Guys, if you went back 4 years ago and looked at my videos, they're terrible. Like I was using little sunshine stickers. Like they're terrible. But your first videos are gonna suck. But you can't have your 100th video until you have your first one. It just doesn't happen. And you don't learn your best marketing method until you've got some trial and error. I have people ask me all the time for one-on-one coaching, and I don't mean to shoot myself in the foot here with this, but I'm like, first of all, I don't want to tell you how much it would cost. Second of all, until you have 90 days worth of content and social media out there, you don't need one-on-one coaching. You need trial and error. You need to do something and learn from it. Like I saw the quote one time that said Michael Jordan never lost a game. He either won or he learned. You you have to put the effort in there to get results from it. And then as far as AI goes, I'll tell you one thing that AI is really good for, in my opinion. On your phone, you can voice chat to Chat GPT. So I can make a video and then I can tell Chat GPT, I just created a video about this. The point that I want to make is this. Keep it casual, keep it friendly. I want to tell this story. Create a caption for me that has a hook in the first sentence and makes people want to read to the end. And then you either want to say, like, I want them to engage with it, which is you want them to like comment. That's what you want right now. That's why I use Chat GPT or AI. But AI is never going to replace you as a person. It is just never going to do it. And it's great. It's a tool you should use. I use it every single day. I mean, right now I've got this tab and Chat GPT pulled up, but it will never replace me authentically showing up and being me. So, and I'm sorry, I kind of like went off the rails with that explanation, but I think it's a tool that you should use, but understand that you are the missing piece of your business. You have to show up, you have to be yourself. And I also want to throw in there, Dave, that every great video I've ever had is me being me. There's nothing fancy about it. There is no fancy, like beginners are like, how do you use CapCut? I'm like, don't use CapCut if it's throwing you off. Literally, pick your phone up, open the app, and make a video. Stop complicating it. It does not have to be complicated. Like I made a video there was my whole couch had laundry that was unfolded on it. Boom. People loved it. Just be yourself. Just be you.
Yeah, I think getting over the messiness is a difficult thing. Of course, seeing ourselves on camera is a difficult thing. Of course, at first, that really doesn't end. You almost have to be self-aware of yourself enough to know that you're going to pick it apart, or there's going to be something that you're not going to like, and to either not go back and watch it again or watch it through very objective eyes
Mhm,
of just, I'm watching this as if I'm editing somebody else's videos. What are other anything else or anything in particular that you do to move fast? Money loves speed. Money
mhm.
loves testing and speed and implementation, and you teaching something that you just learned. Like all of these things, even every business that you see out there has somebody who founded it or launched it in sort of probably did a campaign or a promotion of some sort. It worked and they went, can't believe that worked. But it would have never happened if they wouldn't have pushed through the perfectionism and
Mm.
what I call the comparisonitis of looking at other people's stuff, products. Think about all the huge businesses that were just modeled after another product or business. I mean, if you look at just Walgreens, CVS, grocery stores, there's there's somebody who duplicated a product, and whether it's band-aids or ketchup or whatever, they just almost copied it in a sense. How have, and that's not my point is to copy, but my point is that there's there's the people who get tripped up over every little detail and never publish anything. And there's people who find a way to hit post every time. How have you found a way to hit post on the videos that you create instead of drafting them or saving them for later?
Mm. Well, in my experience, the first draft is always the best. So anytime that I've got an idea to make a video and I make it and then I'm like, oh, I don't like that. I'm going to start over. It never is as good as the first time. And I'm a talking head person. So that's me. And I like to educate, I like to train. So just know, like, know the parts of content. Like you've got to start with a hook. So know your hook, right? Like, so and guys, that's the most important thing I can tell you right now. Like, you might have the best piece of content ever 15 seconds into your video, but nobody's seeing it because your hook sucked. Do not say, hey, happy Monday. It's Sarah here. Nobody cares. Everybody's on social media selfishly. They just want to know, can you entertain them or teach them something? So know your hook, for sure. And I just think that you just have to get you have to embrace yourself where you're at. You have to love yourself where you're at. You're a beginner making videos. And I'm not tooting my horn here at all because I'm still not great at videos. But if there's a beginner here watching me right now and you go watch my content and you think I'm going to make videos just like Sarah, well, you can't do that because we're not at the same stage in the game. Like, you have to get really used to making your content. You have to get really comfortable with being who you are. And the more you show up and be your real, authentic self, the better it's going to resonate with the audience that you want to serve. Because the audience I'm serving is not the audience you're serving. That's it's one of the biggest mistakes I think beginners make is that they want to meet, like, it would be like me trying to be Dave Sharpe. You've been in this so much longer than me. My audience is not the same as yours. So know who you're serving, know what you're showing up to do, and be that. And listen, nobody cares about your videos as much as you do. I promise you that Sally Sue on TikTok is not going to come across your video and think, wow, that really sucked. Let me go look at her page and watch all her other sucky videos. No, they're just going to scroll past it. Nobody cares as much as you do. Trust me. Quit thinking so much about it.
Mm.
Quit thinking so much about it.
Talk to us about how you came to decide upon your niche in your audience. And
Mm.
obviously, there's some training that we've provided and some frameworks that we've provided. However, there are people, and we all can have this potential to make a problem out of every solution. Well, what do I put in these? How do I fill these out? Even if we give them examples. So, how did you go ahead and pull the trigger and make a decision upon your niche and who your audience was? What did you decide and why did you decide it?
By mistake. I bought the blueprints, did a done for you dog thing. And I like dogs, but I don't love dogs. Did that for 2 weeks, learned a lot, and then figured out what I was passionate about. That was helping people make extra money. I mean, so by trial and error, and that's the best thing that beginners can hear. I mean, hey, I'm Sarah, and for the first month of my business, I sent the wrong emails to people. I talked about that in my first mastermind with Sai. I also all the time tell people that like you have to learn stuff. So you said I bought the training. I took off work to do Decade in a Day, and I did it, and I watched it over and over and over again. And then once my business was built, I left that alone. I was just talking to Ryan backstage about this. If you haven't started your social media channel yet, quit worrying about the sub headline on your opt-in page. Nobody's even seeing that yet. Start making content. And then I can't remember. So how I got started, how did I choose my audience? Okay. So here's one of the best things I've ever heard about choosing your audience. And for me, I was a busy working mom. When I laid down in bed at night is whenever I turned on my phone to pull up social media. And so you have to put yourself in that headspace, right? In that frame of mind. And then think, what did I want to watch? What did I want to watch? What do I want to see? And like really that is, and listen, you're not going to answer that probably at this moment exactly, but whenever you can get inside of your target customer's head, and that is who you used to be or who, it's who you are, that's whenever you're going to get golden content. And then you learn to call out your target audience sometimes. Like I watched a TikTok shop video the other day, and it was like working moms who hate making supper every night. And I thought, wow, what a direct hook. Because you pretty much just called out every single working mom who hates cooking. I mean, that's whenever you'll get really good at knowing who you're talking to and how to talk to them. And that's so important. And you also have to get used to not reaching the people who you don't care about. Because when I make a piece of content, no offense, Dave, I don't care that it doesn't resonate with you. You're not my target audience. I'm not making content for Dave Sharpe. I'm making content for Jessica, who is my avatar, who is tired and burnt out and doing everything right, but still living paycheck to paycheck. And she just wants to go on vacation and she can't afford it. I'm making content for her. So no offense, but I don't care what Dave thinks about that. I care what Jessica thinks about that.
Yeah. And, one of the things that
Dave, I care a lot about what you
I
think.
don't care that you don't care.
I think
How's
I care.
So one of the things that you said that I was thinking about, and you said it as I was thinking, like that's really something that I want people to really hear today, is that your target audience is who you were last week, who you were last month. For me, in a lot of respects, I have two target audiences. My target audience is, of course, who I was when I first got started. My target audience is also other kind of marketers who have began to kind of get some results and might be looking for some partnerships, or might be looking to collaborate, or might be looking to kind of work together to take both of our results to the next level. Like it's not only newbies.
Right.
But that's similar to what Gary Vaynerchuk's strategy is, right? He creates content for young people, for kids, for people who are not doing anything, just getting started with entrepreneurship, but those grow his audience, and that helps him to get big clients like Dove and Coke and stuff like that to hire his marketing agency. So when you are getting started, and when I got started, when I was a couple of months into this whole process, a year, 2 years, I was making, I couldn't make content for people who are beyond me or for people who are more successful than me. That didn't make sense. They're looking for people, right? That's obvious.
Right.
So I needed to, what I did was I simply began to talk to the people who were where I was. And what a lot of people didn't know is that I was often talking about results that I had just gotten. And I didn't use huge claims or big numbers. I was generating 5 leads a day. And I said, hey, would you like me to show you how I generated 5 fresh leads yesterday for your business who are chasing me, asking me for information versus me chasing them? What would your business be like if you had just one person chasing you every single day? I think a lot of you are looking, and again, this comes back to the comparisonitis. I sound like a broken record because, Sarah, I know I've been talking about this stuff since the very first day that you got started,
Huh.
but it's like it's always the same. And we always have to hear these messages over and over again to start to believe them. What's ironic with a lot of you guys who are trying to learn this, it's the same exact concept as that quote that says you have to expose somebody 7 times before they finally decide to buy. Well, hey, a lot of you have heard me say this over and over again. And I keep saying it because a lot of you have to hear it 7, 10, 20 times in order to realize it. And the thing that I want you to hear that Sarah just said and that I want to drive home is that your target audience is who you used to be, who you were a week ago, a day ago. It could even be who you were a day ago before you had a revelation. You could learn something here on this Wake Up Legendary that makes something click for you, and you could then go share it to the people who were like you 2 hours ago.
I used to do that. I used to walk in the afternoons and I would listen to the recording of Wake Up Legendary and I would take something from Wake Up Legendary and make a piece of content about it. Because it was just listen to what I just learned. Or I mean, which there's different kinds of content. I don't really like to do a lot of the side hustly kind of content. I don't really resonate with that. But whenever you're making content that for virality or for lots of viewers, like an iPhone hack, that's a big, like everybody's going to love that. And it's a skill that you can learn in 5 minutes and then just go share it. Like, and I know the people who I'm trying to help, they're like, how can we make content if we don't have any results? I'm like, well, can you educate somebody on what you've learned? Can you relate to people by why you started learning it? Can you inspire somebody to think if I can do this, so can you? Then you can make content. You don't have to say I made $1 million in 5 minutes. Like that's not even believable. People don't even want to hear that. I mean, you you've just got to be ready to help people. And that's really what it comes down to is just how can you help people? How can you serve people? How can you bring people along the journey with you? Because that's what you're doing. You like you don't have to be the person. You just have to know a little bit more than what they know and be like, "Hey, follow me. I'll show you what I did." That's that's really it.
What is your advice to people who who kind of, again, I really think there's an emphasis and an importance on this kind of camera presence and people in kind of talking and training people more to be camera ready and be able to, as you talked about, I thought that was a great tip, communicating with your family through Snapchat. I mean, how 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 powerful could that be if you ask your spouse or a friend to just open a Snapchat account, if that's one that's really easy to use. You could also do it on any whatever app you're already using. You could even do it on text, but you could do it on Facebook Messenger, Instagram, to ask a friend that you text the most with to say, hey, would you mind if instead of texting you, I just sent you videos for the next 30 days or for the next 100 days,
Yeah.
right? Just to kind of get used to having the phone there and talking into the phone and being yourself, right? Because you're like talking to your friend. I feel like that's like a platinum boulder nugget that
Absolutely.
do you agree with that? And is there anything else within that whole communicating with your family on Snapchat or like getting camera ready or camera comfortable that sticks out to you that could be helpful?
Of course. Yes. So oh, you got to be ready to start talking. And it's funny, I'm sure that you've had these moments because I don't know if you have any friends or family that take a really long time to get to the point or to tell a story. So I have a group chat, me and my two best friends, and one of my best friends takes forever to actually even start telling the story. And it drives me crazy, but I realize that it's because I have learned how to get to the point quickly. Like, so whenever you do that, other than just starting Snapchat, like think about like what camera angle looks best. Um, you always need good lighting. I mean, that's just kind of something that I would tell you is just a golden nugget. Like turn the light on, invest in a $20 ring light and have it with you. I mean, it's really very, very small details. Good lighting helps with everything. I mean, that's just a good one. And then understand it's so funny. I saw Kim just yesterday in the group, a visual hook. Just understand the power of moving the camera a little bit. People's attention spans are so short that you've got to keep them intrigued and then you've got to immediately get to the point of what you're going to be telling them. And like I said, nobody cares that it's Tuesday morning and raining outside unless like on social media especially. So get really good at coming up with your hook first and then putting that camera not down here. Oh, please don't put the camera down here. That's not a good angle. You just get used, you just learn these things and you just got to show up and say what you want to say. And if you're really nervous about saying what you've got to say, pause at every sentence. Just click the pause button. It's very, you don't have to do a 3-minute talking video without pausing the video. Just learn how to tell a story and get the point across and have a strong hook and be here. Bonus points, literally, if you can do something while you're telling the story. Stir your coffee cup, cut up an apple, fold a towel. Like it keeps people intrigued. I'm telling you, people, and I can't explain it. People are just weird. I'm weird too, I guess. People love to be nosy and they love to know what you're doing. So just do something while you're talking. If you're nervous about looking in the camera, look over here and just keep telling the story. I mean, pretty much what I'm getting at is you have to actually do it to learn how you want to be good at doing it. Because what works for Dave is not going to always work for me. But you've got to have some experience before you know what you even like to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm coming to a lot of conclusions and you evolve over time. What I really realize is, and this is after 16 years of marketing online, whatever's the fastest is the best.
Yes.
Like whatever can help you to get, and that's why we've given you all this Project 100X challenge to help you to understand the importance of speed and understand the importance of getting it out, getting it published. You will get better as time goes on. You can also not be coached unless you're in the game. So back to your point about not, people wanting coaching and all this different kind of stuff. Well, you damn sure better be doing something. And you should be doing a lot of stuff. If you're going to want coaching and you have, you're ready for coaching, or you say, hey, look, I want mentorship, or I want guidance, or, I'm even going to come to support one-on-one calls and I'm going to ask questions. Don't ask. Business and entrepreneurship is not about theoretical questions. It's not about philosophy. We are not philosophers. We are also not, we are not palm readers, right? We are not fortune tellers. We do not have crystal balls. We can't tell you what's going to happen if you do this. Because if you do this, you may get a different result than if somebody else did that. And there's no reason why. It could be the way it comes off. It could be just slightly different. Somebody else could have had a warmer delivery. Somebody else could have had better audio and lighting, and it just was easier to watch. But if you create a bunch of stuff, you will begin to see a pattern about what's working and what's not. And you'll be able to make data. This is one of the biggest things that I began to kind of teach my team, because as I began to build out teams over the years, everybody has emotions and feelings. So I already have enough of my own. Now I've got a team full of people all with emotions, and they're making emotion-based decisions. about how something feels or if they like it or not. And that doesn't matter. What matters is if the customer likes it or not. I was just driving by McDonald's this morning on the way back from dropping my kids off from school. And I said to my girlfriend, unbelievable that selling drugs is such a good business. You know, it's like, you know, and it's such a conflict for me, right? Because it's like, you know, I own index funds which have McDonald's in them.
Mhm.
I don't outright own McDonald's stock individually, but I know the index funds that I own have McDonald's stock, and it's a good stock to own. It pays a good dividend. I'm not really in the mindset of wanting to own stocks in businesses that are not good for people. But the problem is that when it comes to business, it's not about what I like. It's about what my customers like. And people like their bacon, egg, and cheese in the morning. They
Yeah.
like their greasy hash brown.
They
And
wanna
so
have it their way.
they want that. I'm loving it. You know, I even know the jingle. It's like,
Yep.
so beginning to study more of your analytics, and if reading your insights is a difficult thing, you can begin to track your growth, specific KPIs on a spreadsheet, for example. Keep track of maybe not particular views, maybe not particularly views only, but views and also how many followers a post got you. And if you track that on a spreadsheet, how many views and how many new followers a particular post got you, you'll be able to go back and see which pieces of content did better for you. And it's probably going to surprise you.
It do you know, and an audit is so important, and I'm not a person who has a good schedule about this, but I did a content audit probably 2 months ago, and it was one of the most revealing, terrible things I've ever done. I actually did it with some of my coaching people in my coaching group, and I was like, "This kinda sucks," because you think you're making great content, and then you look at your content and you're like, "Oh, that sucked. That wasn't right. That wasn't right." But until you put content out there and then actually look at what the content does and how people respond to it, you have nothing to go off of. And, something that you said just then, y it was about it wasn't about copying or anything like that, but if you are making content based off of what, and I'm just gonna Elizabeth, I'm just saw her name, I don't know her at all. But if I got online and was like, "Oh, that's a good piece of content, Elizabeth, I'm gonna copy that." W Well, people have already seen that. Like, you have got to put your own spin on it. You've gotta be your own person, and I got to go to Funnel Hacking Live, it was amazing, but it talked about being the 1%. So, everybody that's watching this, or maybe y'all haven't even bought a training yet, I'm not sure where you're at in your journey, but I'm telling, like, you are not going to have results that other people don't have until you do something that those people aren't willing to do. So, for instance, like if you're a controversial person, be controversial. If you're not, don't be. But my point is that you're doing this because you want a different life for yourself than what other people have. And to get that life, you're going to have to do what those people aren't willing to do. And that's make videos. I had a client one time who hated her job. She was crying to me on the phone on a messenger thing. And I said, I'm going to tell you what you need to do. You need to turn the camera on right now and you need to make a piece of content. And she said, I'm crying. I was like, that will be the best piece of content you've ever made. I'm telling you right now, you are being more real right now and more relatable than any of the videos I've seen you make, because your other videos are cookie cutters of what everybody else is making. And people are tired of seeing that. I, I mean, they are. So learn to be yourself and get really comfortable with that and don't copy what other people do. Um, and as far as the emotional thing goes, that's so right. I can put out a piece of content and think, oh, this is it. People are going to love this. They're going to love it. Nothing. But another piece of content that I do makes them feel normal, makes them feel seen, it makes them feel heard. That's the content that's going to get you people. And
Yeah.
I mean, I've got to do a little plug here, Dave, for going live. I mean, you and I both know it's it's just golden. It's just golden.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so important, and it's you showing up consistently. It's people learning how to trust you. I mean, You can't do, you're a stranger on the internet. And so if you say, I'm going to show up Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. live on Instagram and you actually do it, it just proves to people that you're going to do what you said you would do.
Yeah.
And that's where you build know, like, and trust. So,
Yeah, that's how you turn a side hustle into a career as
absolutely.
well, you know, by gaining people's trust. I mean, my content strategy over the past 4 years has been going live every day. That's it. That's been it. I mean, the short form content and posting on all of the different platforms I do sort of out of spite. I don't love it.
Me
You know
neither.
what I mean? Like I don't. I'm not out here saying you have to love every part of your business, right? You don't. You don't have to love it. You just have to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And this is I think a huge realization for a lot of you is that you don't love it, you don't feel passionate about it. And it's like, I mean, all of us don't, right? I would much rather my preference, and this is in every aspect of my life, is to have live conversations. I like to do the work in person. I like to process ideas in person and out loud, not particularly always in person. I could do it on the phone or something, but it's about talking. When I was getting clean, and I started going to recovery meetings and stuff, the way that I got clean was I shared, and other people in the meetings I could see that they listened, or maybe they just didn't feel comfortable sharing. But either way, it became therapeutic for me to like share and to talk. And I probably I have a pretty severe anxiety disorder. You would never tell that because I've learned a coping mechanism, which is to let that energy out. And that's a lot of times where you see me, God bless it. If I'm rocking and rolling, I might be overly anxious. It's just I'm getting that energy out. And this is, I mean, I've already worked out and everything this morning too, and I'm still feeling a little bit, anxious. But it's like, for me, it's about trying all the different flavors of marketing to find which one I like the best, and again, going live, doing live presentations. In the beginning, it was webinars for me back before going live on social media was really a thing. And then when we started Wake Up Legendary 4 years ago in 2020, or 5 years ago, I guess now, it was a big commitment because it was going live every day, and that's a big commitment. But I guarantee you, and this is something that I challenge a lot of you as you're starting on, or maybe even joining us on this Project 100X challenge, which is just simply a challenge to create content every day for the next 100 days. Ideally, we'd like you to create at least 100 pieces of content per month over the next 100 days. If you went live every single day until July 2nd is when we'll officially end, right? But that's secretly when you're just getting started, but don't tell anybody that. If you went live every single day, I have no idea if you'd make money. I can't guarantee any of that. But what I can guarantee is that going live wouldn't be scary, and you'd be a lot better at it. And you'd get over and finally get in the game, get outside of yourself, get out of your own way, get over whatever you're afraid of that you think is so scary, which is just people judging you and you looking stupid. That's what you're afraid of. That's okay. We're all afraid of that. And the people who are doing it just got comfortable with looking stupid, got comfortable with embarrassment. It became a friend. It became a confidant. It's okay. And if you do it long enough, you develop thick enough skin to where it doesn't bother you anymore. It's not a big deal if a video gets 0 views or nobody shows up to your live, because when they watch the replay and you start to learn little tricks like, hey, drop a 1 if you're live and a 2 if you're watching the replay.
Ah,
And people, will drop those 2s and comment. You'll see people come through and comment on your lives who were clearly watching the replay. And it's like, if you did that until July 2nd, participated in this challenge and gone live every day. See, I'm really challenging some of you now. because you were all in your comfort zone about, oh yeah, I could do this. I could post a piece. A lot of you are creating one video and then you're posting it on 3 different platforms and you're done. Okay. How about this? One video and go live every single day, or at least 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Now you're afraid, right? Now you're uncomfortable. Good.
I was actually going to challenge people to do that. Like, that is a hack too. That's an algorithm hack, just so y'all know. Post a piece of content, engage for 5 minutes, then go live, even if it's just for 10 or 15 minutes. Like, gosh, the app is going to love you, because social media apps, they just want you to be social on their app. It's like literally in the name, social media. So don't post and ghost. Like, get on there and be a real person. It's so important. And Dave, something came up while you were saying that at the mastermind in Austin. I think people were standing up, sharing their wins, something, I don't remember. And I stood up because I felt like, the speakers, we were all in the back and people couldn't see us. The people that clap for you when you do these uncomfortable things are probably not going to be the people that haven't started yet. But nobody doing better than you is ever going to criticize you for trying to do better than what you've done before. So like me, when I see a brand new person go live on social media, I'm clapping for them. I'm clapping for them because, like, literally everybody in the back was standing up and clapping for the people up front who were sharing their wins and sharing the things they're overcoming, because we've been there. Like, and I'm not saying I'm doing better than anybody listening. I don't mean that by any means, but just get over the fact that your coworker who is stuck in their 9 to 5 and miserable and hates it and hadn't been on vacation in 5 years, they have created that life for themselves and that's what they're choosing. But you are choosing to be different. They are not going to clap for you when you step out and do something uncomfortable and something different. They're going to watch you. Okay. They're probably going to watch you to see you give up. And so prove them wrong. But just know that there are so many people clapping for you. And like, it is just so big and so important for you to do those tiny reps every single day, to show up, to be uncomfortable on camera. Forget about that. Post it and forget about it. Like, you've done it. You've done your work for the day. It's just so important to just get in there and do it. I love that you're doing this challenge.
Yeah. And that's what kind of our whole concepts have been. A lot of people are selling, gimmicks and overnight 24-hour 2-day this, in everything. Every single thing that we've done here has had the word challenge in it, which is kind of interesting, right? Because we're really letting everybody know up front that it's going to be a challenge. We're going to show you, we're going to teach you, we're going to support you, but it's going to be a challenge. This is not something that we're saying is a good fit for everybody. This is a good fit for people who want a different life and are willing to do the work for it, and specifically want to own a business. Because you can have a better life through cooking more at home, maybe, or spending more quality time with your loved ones. There's lots of ways to have a better life. You could get in shape. And I'm giving some of you an out right now. Like, if you want just a better life, there are ways to have a better life without starting a business. Mm-hmm. And some of you are going, wow, damn, maybe that's what here's a dirty little secret though. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So even if you decide to quit this and go work out and focus on your fitness or whatever it is, you're probably going to come up with the same excuses why not to go to the gym, because you don't want to be seen. You don't want to look stupid. You don't want to go being overweight. Right? Same thing. Oh, I could have a better life by being more social. But I never go to parties or I never go out. Why? Because I feel like I'm not good enough, or like nobody wants to be my friend, or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Starting a business reveals your insecurities. It reveals the areas that you need to grow in. And so we're inviting you all on a daily basis to step into that best version of yourself, to take upon these challenges. And what's interesting is they will spill over. If you decide that I do want a better life and I do want to build a business and I do want to make more money, or I want to develop my skills to give myself an opportunity to give me and my family a better life. What's interesting is that as you develop that discipline, that will carry over into other areas of your life. It
Mhm.
really will. And then you'll begin to realize that you can actually have it all. You can actually, if you want to be more fit, you can do that while building a business. Because once you develop the habits, they really transfer over. They're transferable habits and transferable skills. That's what's been beautiful about the journey for me. Give us some final thoughts here on this or something else, but it sounds like it looks like you have something that's coming up.
Oh, I love to learn, Dave. So I'm a big learner. I love that. And I saw something the other day about the brain and how it's some part of your prefrontal thing. And anyways, whenever you do something out of your comfort zone. So every time you go to the gym when you don't feel like it, or post a video when you don't feel like it, or call somebody that you love whenever you don't feel like it. Every time you do that, it strengthens this part of your brain. And it's been
Mhm.
researched that that part of the brain is smaller in athletes and bigger in obese people. Okay. And they have linked that part of the brain to longevity, to health, to wealth, to success, to the will to live. And so, what you were saying, everything you were saying relates back to that. The better you get at just showing up and doing something that you don't want to do over and over and over and over and over, in my opinion, you're improving your life tenfold every time you do those little habits that make you better. Now, I also think that comes along with realizing the habits that aren't serving you anymore and the relationships that aren't serving you anymore. I think a lot of people say yes to everything and they think that's going to equal a better life when really you need to say no to some things. And when I started building my business, I wanted to do it. I knew I wanted to do it. I was so glad that Legendary told me right off the bat, we are not going to build a business for you, but I'll show you exactly how to do it. Because if you have to talk somebody into doing something, they're probably not going to be very successful. Like, I'm not going to beg anybody to do this. I've never once sent a message asking someone to learn affiliate marketing because that's just not how you're going to have success. But once you do this and you learn how to do these things, you're gonna see, like, once you learn that skill for yourself, like, nobody can take that away from you. And you said something like you can enjoy it all. So I have 2 kids and I love them and I want to be the best mom for them. And so here I am making money, never missing a game, showing up at school assemblies. I'm doing it all. Like, is my life still busy? Yes. Do I still dread cooking supper every night? Yes. I'm still a regular normal mom. But I think what the world tells you is normal can be expanded.
Yeah,
So you don't have to struggle the way everybody else does. I kind of went all over the place with that, but
love it.
you can really build your dream life. There is no cap on that. And the people who are successful are the people who show up every single day and do the reps. They do the reps when they don't feel like it. They do the reps that think they are stupid. They do the reps that are boring. They post a video when they think nobody will see it. It's not magical. It's not a pill. It's not a business in a box. Like you were just saying, like, that is all a scam and a lie. Costco will not pay you $10,000 a month to promote their products. They just won't. That's a lie. So don't buy that crap. But if you look at really successful people like Dave Sharpe, he will tell you that he had to grow. He had to do things he was uncomfortable with. He had to learn from his mistakes. And he's still showing up every single day. And that's really what it takes, is showing up every single day.
Yeah. And I just want to echo that my dream life was and is having the time to be able to manage my son's T-ball team.
Oh, and he's a stud. I
Yeah,
mean, I love the pictures.
and literally going and being there at every game.
Mhm.
I mean, that's my there is not a other team with dads and coaches that I know of that are able to be there at every game.
Mhm.
Not in my league, not that I know. They're all, as a matter of fact, a few of my buds couldn't coach because they travel, because they're so busy with work. And
Mhm.
so that's one of the things that is important to me. One of the benefits. It's not driving a Bugatti or a Lamborghini. It's not all of this different stuff that you see on the internet, right? Even these morning routines that have gone viral. Bullshit. It's bullshit. It's get up and go to work, people. Get up and go to work. Yeah, wake up and go to work. Don't waste the first 3 hours of your day dipping your face in ice water and meditating. Get up and go to work and utilize those early, especially those of you who have the 9 to 5, the 5 to 9 before and the 5 to 9 after work are what is going to build your business. Make sure that you use it. All right, my friend. Once again, always a pleasure. Beautiful, beautiful conversation. Very inspiring for me. I'm fired up. Great way to start the week. Stay legendary. Okay. Thanks for coming on for the 7th time.
Anytime. Love chatting with you, Dave.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. All right, my friends, you can find and follow Sarah Thompson over on both Facebook and on TikTok. And we will put up, I've had them the majority of the episode, but just in case you're listening, remember that we always publish all of these Wake Up Legendary episodes on the major podcast platforms. So if you go on podcast on your Apple phone or whatever the app is on your Android, which I don't use, so I don't know, but if you type in Wake Up Legendary, you'll be able to find these episodes and listen to them on audio as well. So that may be beneficial to a lot of you all. You can find Sarah over on TikTok at Sarah T Affiliate Marketing, and you can find Sarah on Facebook at AFFMAR Made Easy, and that's short for Affiliate Marketing Made Easy. AFFMAR Made Easy on Facebook, and I'll post that in the comments as well. Sarah's a great example, as are many of the people inside of our community, of what it looks like when you get in the game and you stay consistent, you stay disciplined, and you turn what is for many a failed try or a short-term flash in the pan side hustle to a long-term career. And that's exactly what Sarah's done. And I couldn't be more proud to call her a friend and a peer. And so, my friends, let's rock. Let's have a great week. Let's make some moves. Let's create some marketing. By that, I mean, go film some videos, post them, make some written posts, go live. Okay. Participate in this Project 100X challenge with us. We'll support you along the way. If you want to join, you can find our official affiliate marketing Facebook. Now, we have multiple different Facebook groups. One's just a legendary marketer for all of our clients. One's our business blueprints group for our blueprints clients. And one is for our affiliates. And that's where we're hosting that Project 100X challenge. Again, if you want to be a part of that, apply to be an affiliate and then go inside of our Facebook group and get all of that training and all of those nuggets. But if you're not an affiliate, you can also take the challenge by simply creating content, 100 pieces of content at minimum over the next 100 days. Be legendary, my friends. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another episode. Peace.